Bomb shelter mode. Bomb shelter mode. I'm about to give y'all the real deal. The real deal. What's going on, y'all? So we just got out of our mamad. That's our protective space for the, I don't know how many times today, maybe third time today?
Yeah, third time today. I don't know. It's a blur now.
I don't know, maybe 15 times over the last couple of days, something like that. It's a record since we've been here.
Yeah, I think the most that we have ever had was 2 on one day since being here.
So just over the past couple of days, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. So you want to know what really goes on while Israel is under attack, while Iran is sending over these crazy ballistic missiles.
Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and double honors to the elders at Great Millstone. So, what you see happening is a Negro couple, Israelites actually, that converted to being small hats, okay, over there in Israel, and they're getting bombed, and they shouldn't be in that land. All right, it's a cautionary tale, okay, of envying your oppressor, because that's what this is. I mean, they converted over to Orthodox Judaism, and they don't believe in the Messiah, the Savior, and they undoubtedly read out of the Talmud. Okay, so they're really totally wicked, okay, and bugged out. So this is a cautionary tale of what can happen to you, okay, and we'll get into it a little bit. All right, okay, let's go to Daniel chapter 12 and verses 2. All right, because many have heard about being an Israelite, and they have came into this, with joy. But what you have to understand is you have to, the Lord has to lead you to the prophets. Okay, that's what this is all about. Okay, you have to be taught by the prophets. Okay, if not, you're gonna go astray. You're gonna err. You're not gonna have the doctrine right. Okay, Daniel 12 and verses 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. All right, so that's what has happened to them. They basically don't even know it. They actually think that they're doing the will of the Most High. Okay, by going there, and at the end of the day, there was a preaching work that had to be done to the house of Israel that was spoken of. All right, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 2. All right, and read that. This is what he told Ezekiel. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me, and he set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spake unto me. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that has rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day. For they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord power. All right, with the Lord being Yahweh in the Paleo Hebrew. All right, the Most High power. Okay, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there have been a prophet among them. Okay? All right. So they decided to go with the heathen. Okay? They believe the heathen is the chosen people. So they really are deceived and going off. It's a cautionary tale of being rejected by the Most High. Okay? Because they never found the truth. All right? And that's you Christians and all these other religions. All right? Okay? The Lord is dealing with the children of Israel, the elect, the Negroes, Native Americans, Hispanics, all right, through the seed line, all right, and the prophets would come spring forth out of Judah, all right, to finish this work, all right, okay. Let's go there real quick. Zechariah 12 and 7. Zechariah 12 and 7. The Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, also shall save the tents of Judah first. And that's these Negroes, okay? All right? So-called African Americans, in which they are, right? That the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. So in other words, the other tribes will not magnify themselves against Judah. Judah brought forth this truth, all right? Told everyone that they were Israelites, okay? The so-called Negro did that, okay? All right, so they're following a false doctrine, and they're going to be destroyed for it. They don't believe in the Messiah, so we'll go there real quick. John 3 and 18 is what is going to happen to them. John 3 and 18, he that believeth on him is not condemned, okay? So they don't believe in the Messiah, all right? But he that believeth not is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of the Most High. So they will be destroyed. Okay? All right? Proverbs 14 and 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So they chose the wrong way. Okay? And for it, okay, they will be condemned. So you have to make sure you have the right understanding and doctrine. Okay? Okay? Because the elect will speak with no guile, and the Lord is only delivering the elect of Israel. Okay? That's what you all have to understand. The elect will speak with no guile. Okay? That's at Revelations, I think, chapter 14. In other words, they would tell no lies. All right? Revelation 14 and 5, and in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High. All right, so you have to, it's a cautionary tale, okay? They're caught up into this. They're in a bomb shelter, bombs going off, and they don't have no business being there. Right now, Esau, Edom, is in rulership right now. You have to understand that. The so-called white man is in rulership right now. We are in the Gentile times, Gentile rulerships. All right. Let's go to Luke 21 and 24. All right. They think I guess they think they in the kingdom of heaven. All right. It's crazy. Luke 21 and 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Okay? So you have to understand that the Gentile times are ending now. Okay? The Lord is bringing forth a prophecy is being fulfilled. All right? They're at the nations are gathering into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat for war. This is the final battle. Okay? Okay? And they're right in the middle of it, about to get blown to pieces. Okay? They took the land. You have to understand, the Gentile times have not ended, meaning the Gentiles still occupy the land. They took possession of the land by the wealth of the red shield. You need to understand that. Meaning the international banking families, the Rothschilds. Okay? They're trillionaires. All right? Okay? They're the Edomite elite. They pretty much, these elites own America. And that's the reason why we help the small hats. Okay? In 1948, it came out with this Fort Balfour Declaration. All right? The Balfour Declaration. You can look that up. And they took the land of Israel. All right? From the Arabs that were dwelling there. All right? And all of it is prophesied. Ezekiel 35. If they read the Torah, they would understand this. Let's go to Ezekiel 35. Okay? All right? Where the Lord is against Esau, Edom, the so-called white man that's ruling. Okay? All right? The Lord has commanded his servants, the prophets, to prophesy against the so-called white man. And that's the reason why we do this. All right. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. That was their original land, Mount Seir. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. This is regarding the judgment. Okay. All right. The judgment being total destruction by nuclear fire. All right. As in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what's going to happen to America. This is the central hub of the Edomite. All right. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Verse 5. Why is this going to happen? Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. All right. That's what has been to this very day, a perpetual hatred. All right. Even now, they're coming down on the tribes. They're deporting the so-called Venezuelans, Mexicans, and Jamaicans, all Israelites. Okay. All Israelite seed. All right. Okay. Verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay, they lynched us, they hanged us, they murdered us, they ate us. Okay, these so-called white people. All right, and that's what the Lord is saying. That's the future judgment is Armageddon, and that's happening now. They're in a bomb shelter right now. Okay, all right. So this is it's gonna go down. All right. So let's go down to verse 10. Ezekiel 35 and 10. Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Okay? Who's in possession of Israel? The ruling class people or the white people? Who's in possession of America? Okay? Who is the main ruler? It's the so-called white man. So, two nations, and he has the two nations, all right, in his possession, which are Israel and Judah. Okay? They have Israel and Judah in their possession, and the two countries are Israel and the Americas. All right? All right? You have to understand that. They have dominion of the whole earth. 750 military bases in 80 countries, policing the world. All right? The so-called white man has. All right? Verse 10 again, because thou hast said, Ezekiel 35 and 10, these two nations, Israel and Judah, and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Okay? So that's what the Lord is going to bring judgment upon them for this. All right? All right? And it says here in Ezekiel 36 and we'll start at 1. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, Hear the word of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Thus saith the Lord power, because the enemy has said unto you, said against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours in our possession. The ancient high places. All right, the Americas, all of the great pyramids over there and stuff. And all right, Israel. The ancient high places are there too. You see? Thus saith who basically is the ruling class people? It's the so-called white man. Thus saith the Lord power, because the enemy has said against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours in our possession. Therefore prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord power, because they have made you desolate, the Israelites desolate. So you get what I'm saying? So we wouldn't be in the land. Okay? We were made desolate. We wouldn't be in the land of Israel, and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen. We became a possession. They owned us. They own us to this very day. All right. We have not been restored. Okay. All right. Our forefathers never were paid. Okay. For the abuse and the shadow slavery and all that. Okay. A possession unto the residue of the heathen. And ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. All right. We're at the bottom. Okay. You have to understand that. All right. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord power. Verse 4, Ezekiel 36:4. Thus saith the Lord power, to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes and to the cities that are forsaken. The cities are forsaken. It's not supposed to be any Israelites there. You see? Which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen. The heathen is there. The Gentiles are there. Okay? That are round about. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy. This is the point you need to understand. And this is in the Torah. They should understand, read it, but they're not reading it. In the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea. The Idumeans, if you look that up in Google, it means Edom. It's these so-called white people. All right. He's speaking against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession. That's what has happened here. Okay. With the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. Okay. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, say unto the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and the valleys, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, I have spoken it in my jealousy and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen. Who has borne the shame of the heathen? The Israelites, because we're not in the land no more. They took the land by force in 1948. All right. And they're just envying them. They envy their oppressor. All right. Okay. And the Lord is going to bring judgment upon them. And this is exactly who you don't want to be like. You don't want to be taken by false prophets. Listen to the men at Great Millstone. The Lord is dealing with them. All right. Okay. That's where the truth lies. Okay. All right. The truth came through One West, the camps. And we're not talking about the men that went off and that did wicked things. We're talking about the truth itself that has sprung up in the earth. All right. Okay. It is settled with Great Millstone and like-minded camps. All right. All right. And the prophets are here today. All right. But the Torah, it tells us that Israel will be gathered by the Lord, then taken back. That's in the Torah. Okay. They will be gathered, then taken back. All right. How are they going to be gathered? They're going to be gathered by the word. All right. They're going to be gathered by the word and taken back. Okay. Okay. Through this word and the gospel being preached in the earth, they will be gathered, and then the Lord will deliver his elect. Okay. Baruch 4:36. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from the Most High. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High. Okay? Because the Lord will raise up the prophets, okay, again in the earth, and they will be gathered by way of this word through the preaching work. Okay? All right? So they're in the wrong place. Everything is happening in America, Babylon the Great, in the places where we were scattered. Okay? They're they have been deceived by the heathen. Let's go to Matthew 3 and Matthew 24 and 31. Matthew 24 and 31. And it reads, and he shall send his angels. This is how we're going to be gathered back. All right. We wouldn't be in the land now. We're exiled. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of the trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Okay? And it's also in the Old Testament, Deuteronomy chapter 30. All right? Deuteronomy chapter 30. All right? So they don't really read the Bible. They're into the Talmud and different traditional and writings from the rabbis. That's what they're into. And they're mainly in the Talmud, which is wicked. And they don't believe, of course, in the Messiah. All right. Deuteronomy 30 and verses 1. They should have read this. Okay. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shall call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy power have driven thee, and shalt return unto the Lord thy power, and shall obey his voice, according to all that I have commanded thee this day, thou and thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshua thy power will turn thy captivity, and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all nations whither the Lord thy power have scattered thee. Okay, so I just keep reading. And if any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy power gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And the Lord thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. Okay, so this is what will happen. Okay, but it has not happened yet. Okay, the Balfour Declaration brought the heathens from Poland and Germany into the land. Okay, it didn't bring the Israelites; it brought the Edomites into the land. Okay, and they also have brethren in the Ukraine. Okay, that's the reason why we help Ukraine. Okay, Edomites, that's what they are. We'll read 1 and 11 first, just to let you know that we were delivered by the so-called Africans to the so-called white man. And we've been in captivity ever since. All right. All right. We'll start at, we'll just read 11. Amos 1 and 11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and the Lord is not going to withhold this punishment. And for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually. Didn't it say that at Ezekiel chapter 35? Okay, verse 5. You need to go back and read that. Who does that match? Who had a perpetual hatred? The Ku Klux Klan, the Ku Klux Klan, the chattel slavery, all of the lynching, 4,000 lynching monument museum in Alabama. Okay, who did this? It's talking about the so-called white man. All right, and a lot of you all wanna come against this doctrine. We're telling you who the devil is, who the wicked is. It's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, they have to be taken out of power and rooted out of the earth before righteousness will dwell in the earth. Okay, all right, and you want to defend that? You all are out of your mind. And the Lord, if you don't repent, the Lord is going to destroy you. Period. He's going to leave you here and melt you if you're here when Armageddon and they start launching these missiles. He's going to leave you here and melt you. All right? All right? So again, verse 11, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother. The brother of Edom is who? Jacob, the Israelites, okay? With the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. Okay? So you see that? All right? Okay? So I think I made this kind of long, but let me go here to we'll go up a little bit. Amos 1. The Lord is going to destroy Palestine, all right, over there in Israel, okay? Amos 1 and verses 6, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity, to deliver them up to Edom. But I will send a fire on the wall of Gaza, which shall devour the palaces thereof, and I will cut off the inhabitants of Ashdod, and him that holdeth the scepter from Ashkelon, and I will turn mine hand against Ekron, and the remnant of Philistines shall perish, saith the Lord power. So the Lord is going to wipe out that place. Okay, you see that? All right, Ashkelon is in Israel. You know that, right? Ashdod. Right, and you definitely know Gaza is. So that place is going to get hit with missiles. All right, thermonuclear missiles very soon. All right, the Lord is, and I end here with Joel 3 verses 9. It says, proclaim ye among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves, and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, because cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be awakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So the Lord is going to judge all the heathen, the ones that put the children of Israel in captivity and slavery, and put them at the bottom of the totem pole, right here, right there, where they're at, with bombs going off. Okay, all right. Isaiah 47 and 6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. See, we're in the hand of our enemy. They rule over us. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. All right? And thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these 2 things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it has perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it rises, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. And that's what's coming, okay? World War III, Armageddon, all right? And we just, this is a cautionary tale for you Israelites out there to follow the men of great millstone, all right? And to discern, you need to discern who is serving the Lord and who is serving him not. All right, let's get that real quick. Okay, we'll go to Malachi 3:16. Then they that feared the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, spake often one to another, and the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day, when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then, this is the point, shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not. All right? So, it's Matthew 7 and I'll read 14. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Okay? So, it'll be a narrow road to the life. All right? And I'm here to tell you that this is the way. All right? Seek the Lord through the prophets. Shalom.